there in Twitch world and in YouTube world, and I'm just hearing about something tonight that I want to make sure that I get a chance to speak to everyone about. So let's hold on for a second while I jump onto that real quick. I'm actually hearing about some of our favorite people in the paranormal worlds out there that I followed and that so many of us follow. Oh My Gosh TV, CJ Faison, and Yasko YouTube. Now, it's my opinion, my understanding, excuse me, that that we've got a lot of people being harassed. These folks, especially, being harassed, attacked, their property destroyed, as well as people hanging things in the neighborhoods of these YouTubers, these well-known and decent human being YouTubers, not horrible human beings like perhaps there exists out in the world when it comes to social media and these platforms. And I'm not throwing out any names, but these names I am, because they're good names, they're good people, and I want you to make sure to spread the love out there for them and to figure out, let's help us find out who is causing all this damage to property, who is harassing these people. And I'm here to put it out there. I don't have much in the way of followers, but I want you all to know that I'm here to listen. I'm here to hope that we can figure out what's going on and that we can stop the harassment that is actually going on. So, or at least bring it to the slowest possible crawl. But this needs to stop. This can't be a thing. People are out here enjoying themselves and making their life on these platforms. So I'm asking you all to please stop taking enjoyment from watching others be hurt. Come together as a community and figure out how we can deal with this and how we can all work together to enjoy these platforms together. Whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or any of these other platforms, we need to be able to enjoy them. We need to be able to exist with them and understand how these platforms can positively and negatively affect us all. So my love and my salute out there for Oh My Gosh and TV and his family, Yasko and Chris, CJ, and all of your team that comes with you from time to time. I'm so horribly bad with names that I'll only remember all of CJ's group when I decide to stop recording, and then it'll just go away. And if I get a chance at the end of my own show, I will again throw a note out there to all you guys, so that we can really help put some energy out there that will bring peace and stop this from happening and stop this harassment, because it is hurtful, it is ugly, it is painful, and I know what it's like to be harassed. I really do. Okay? All right, team. So I want to be able to say thank you for listening to us about that. Thank you for being here with that. And I want to be able to say welcome to Paranormal Investigation and Messenger Guardians Paranormal. Okay, so I'm gonna. This is somewhat of a teaser that I want to do. That a little while back, I would say now 3.5 years back, I went out to a place called Leakin Park, and I can actively look up some information on Leakin Park. It's in Baltimore. It's considered really one of the most open air or open graveyards. You know what's that? Open as in unmarked. And there's so many bodies buried underneath that park, and it's actually, I think, a state park, and there's so many bodies in that state park. So myself and my sister, who will be unnamed, we rode out there. We rode out to Gwynns Falls and Leakin Park, which are together. They're one units right beside each other. And again, this was just a preliminary because I didn't have enough equipment with me that night, and I really wanted to go on a full investigation of that area, and still will at some point. Maybe I can even try and get a hold of Dan Bell or something like that, and shout out to Danville if he's out there, and see if I can do some more on this. But just a preliminary, I want you to listen to this, and then I'll bring up some files where a couple of really weird audio things happen, things that I'm going to be very honest about. It has never happened, and I've never had it happen again. And I know the first time you look at it or listen to it, you're like, okay, you just faked that. You just said that, or it was weird and strange, and there was so much happening at Leakin Park, at the whole setup. And there was another video where I'm riding with my sister because I felt like there were others in the car with us. And if I can try and find that during this investigation, I will. But what I wanted to show you some of the things that I was doing back in 15, 16, and 17. And there's still, I would say, a whole lot. It's not like I did hundreds of things. I did 5, 6, or 7 things between those times. But there was so much going on, and I collected so much data. I wanted to be able to go through some of it before figuring out ways of supplying more ultimately. But there's so much going on, and there's so much data here that it'll be interesting just to have this. But in future, I would still, again, like to be able to get people to send to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create probably another full email where I'm going to have a drive where I'm going to have people send to that email or send to that drive a share drive link. Now, you can't send just anything. I'm going to see what's in the drive, and the whole idea is that you tell me what your issues are, or you tell me what it is you have to share. In other words, you send a record of what you have to share in email, telling me what it is you're sending me in the drive, and then you are able that you want to either have on the show, you want to have me analyze, or you want to analyze with me, which means you want to come onto the show through Zoom or what other way we want to do it. Which I think, by the way, is just the coolest thing if people want to do that. Once you tell me and I respond to it, and I respond to what it is you're sending me, I'll send you a link to send me those exact items, and then I'll take a look at them. They're not open to the public. The link is only usable when you send it in, and then I can relock the link or whatever, so that people don't just keep sending stuff or sending things in. The link will open up one time, and then I'll turn the share on the link off once items are in. I'll look at the items, make sure there's nothing, nothing that can't be broadcast or otherwise, and then I'm able to go ahead and arrange to have you on the show and to help lead the investigation or lead the analysis, which is what this show's about, is doing an analysis. Now, my shows also are about analyzing my own investigations. And occasionally, I might even be able to bring you an active investigation going on, but that really all depends on whether or not I have internet, how much internet I have, and how long that's going to last. I'm going to be in the UK for a couple of months come June, so I'll be there through to the beginning of August, and so I'm not really sure how the Twitch shows are going to work, but they might work with me just doing a live thought, or sitting with someone talking, doing a live back and forth, and that might be how. So we might not, after the last show in May, if I can put up a last show in May, there might not easily be a Friday show every week for about 8 weeks. But again, there will be shows. I'm going to put something up for you because I've set up an entire pack of travel gear that is meant to be able to access Twitch and get onto YouTube and do everything that we do. This is my other recorder from my phone. I'm out on the edge of Leakin Park in one of the neighborhoods nearby. If anyone wants to speak, I can feel you. I feel you all around me here. Please speak if you wish. There's no other voices. People aren't out tonight. I feel you all around me. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help, that we can do. Hey kitty, hey baby, there's a kitty right there. Can't really see anything, but I can hear it, I can feel stuff. Hearing is what we can do. Okay, I'm gonna say why I actually paused it and went back there. This is me. This is me freezing on. I don't mean to freeze on a license plate. Is that there's a point in here where I thought at first what I was hearing was my breathing. Well, I just realized something while listening. My breathing's pretty consistent when I'm breathing in and out. Now it's possible the way you heard me right there. Well, if I'm breathing consistently. And you can hear it over and over again. And you can also hear my voice take a breath, an actual breath. But there's something really strange about this sound right here. Let me go back and let you hear it again. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. That we can do. Right there. Now let me go back on that one more time because I know it's hard to hear sometimes, which is really odd. I'm only just catching it, and most of the times I can hear it, but here it is again. Now this was one of the few videos I did. I actually did a video, another video, which I'm hoping I'm going to be able to find, and I'll try to find for you all while I'm talking to you. And it should actually, you should hear it again if it's breathing. If it's me breathing, because I have a very particular sound. If you go back on my recordings, you can hear me breathing and hear me identifying that I'm breathing. And I wasn't having any breathing problems in this. I wasn't sick or anything like that. And I just realized it sounds like someone's yelling at me, and that makes sense. I will try to remember to relay a story back to you as to why this makes sense and how weird this thing was, and how I probably need to go back there. Probably first in the daytime before I do it at night, because I definitely won't be going alone by myself. Not there. Not at night. Not looking like I do. It's other people would be in danger too that don't look like me, but me. I'm definitely an extra, an extra deadly marker. There are entire areas of roads that are blocked off because of stopping cars from going up the side roads because of the number of bodies that were found in the woods in this park. And this is even unknown to a lot of people who live in Baltimore City. I grew up 22 miles south, and I never heard of this place. And then again, when I was young, I wasn't really into going to these places for this reason. I hadn't really. I understood it and understood things in a way. I don't know if you can say believed it. I neither believed nor disbelieved. But I would have been curious, but I still wouldn't have been ready for this. So really interesting. Let's listen to this one more time. Roll it back one more time, and then I'll go to some of the analysis files collected from some of the other audio data, which I'll play through and then let you listen to again. And like I say, some of it was just weird. Listen to this again. This is my other recorder from my phone. I'm out on the edge of Leakin Park in one of the neighborhoods nearby. If anyone wants to speak, I can feel you. I feel you all around me here. Please speak if you wish. There's no other voices. People aren't out tonight. If feel you all around me. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. That we can do. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. That we can do. Hey kitty, hey baby, there's a kitty right there. Can't really see anything, but I can hear it, I can feel stuff. Hearing is besides the point, but I'm not. Okay, so that just was really super strange, to say the least. Very odd. And half the time I'm not sure what to think about some of this. It's just so strange. So what I'm going to do next while I'm talking to you all about how strange this all is I've already opened up audio for these, but at the same time I'm going to see if I can open up the regular audio files for some of the things I heard in Leakin Park. So I'm going to see if I can go to the recordings that are listen to. This time I'm going to let you listen to something before I switch over to the screen. So this is all audio, and I want you to listen to it first. Leakin Park. Be anything else out here, but please speak up. There's just rounds, and that's it. It's kind of odd, so let me play that one more time. Really, just odd. Let me play that again. That was just weird how that suddenly came, how that played up. Neighborhoods right outside Leakin Park. Be anything else out here, but please speak up. There's just rounds, and that's it. That's really weird, and I can't understand why it sounds like this, because it's Leakin Park, and strangely enough, I labeled it correctly on the analysis. So let me make sure the analysis is even sounding right before I put it up, because that whole thing just sounds weird, and I don't know why. And that is the original audio. I didn't make any changes to the audio, but the audio fluctuates, which is strange because I just pushed recording and it plays. But man, out there it was so weird. So let me listen to this real quick before I can push it up for you. Hold on just a second. Okay, this is odd. Now you just got a little bit of a blank space from me for a second there, and that was because I was listening to make sure that this was right, or was going to play right. Here's the original audio. I just tried to play the long audio. The long audio is only coming up as 11 seconds long. Let me see if I can bring it up for you. It doesn't look like I can. Let me see if I can bring up the original audio that was in the analysis file. Let me pull the whole analysis folder over so that you can actually see it on the screen. So I'm pulling this over, and make sure I don't hit the wrong button here. There we go. That's the analysis folder. I didn't make this analysis folder tonight. I made it several years ago. strange about that is that that file was not changed. This file was not changed. It's still the original REC001 recording, but when I put it to when I put it to Audacity, the whole file, I knew the file was longer, so this was just weird, because here's the Audacity file that you see open, and it really was it's just this file right here. I simply named it Leakin Park or whatever, but in the two recordings. Also, when I opened this file was missing. The audio file was here, but the folder for it was missing. So it was really kind of just odd things that never seem to all happen like that. But here's the whole file, because I knew something was wrong with that audio file, where it said, why does it skip? Why does it sound like there's a problem? That problem would exist elsewhere, so why is it suddenly cutting off? Well, here's the whole file, which must have worked right back when I did it, because here's the whole file right here. Let me play it for you. Oh, and I realize now that you didn't actually hear me play that other file because damn desktop audio's off. So let me play the original audio one more time so that you can hear it. At least you heard me talking. Here's the original audio, which somehow, strangely, and this is the things that do happen when we're analyzing stuff, it's like it was it's like the file was twisted and changed after I loaded it and after I placed it into Audacity. It's like the original file was corrupted somehow after I closed it, after I already saved it in Audacity, after I already opened it in Audacity and saved that file, which is the file you see sitting in front of me. Here's the original sound, and my desktop audio is sitting on, so you all should be able to hear this right now. Neighborhoods right outside Leakin Park. Be anything else out here, but please speak up. There's just frowns, and that's it. I'm just discovering this file sounds like this. Now, again, this was the original folder that I created the Leakin Park file in the audio files. I created this, I opened Audacity, I opened the file, and then saved it. And as you know, Audacity saves in two files, in two of its own files. It's .aup file and the folder that it takes its data from. That's the only file I have. When I had a second file number 2 in the file that the data is taken from. Then I had file 3, and I had an AUP file 3, but no data folder, which didn't make any sense at all. And I looked over here to find the data folder, and I couldn't find the data folder. So I'm finding an extra file called number 1, and I'm trying to see whether or not this is the file. I don't think that it is, because it's only at one certain point, so I have to go back, and I'll let you listen to that. But it's only at one certain point. It's really odd. Here is the whole file. Here's what the entire master file should sound like. There should have been 29 seconds in that recording, but the recording I opened up for you. Now I don't know its properties, because the properties don't always read right. It says December 31st, 2015, but I can assure you this was done in 2017, so these are useless to me. This is the day I'm opening it, talking to you all, but these were made back on October 27th of 2017. I didn't even know about Leakin Park back in 2015. 2015 would have been when I was actually doing my investigations at Goddard College, where I was learning my graduate work and doing paranormal research and literature, and I was actually putting it into my degree program. So, but it's really super duper strange, because I know exactly when it was that I actually went to this park and what date it was on. I'm going to go up to my properties for this file and see what the properties are. And it's mainly because sometimes when you're actually doing the work on this, or you're looking at the properties on something and you're doing work, quite often things suddenly just get mixed up that shouldn't be getting mixed up. Things happen that shouldn't be happening. Take a listen to this full file first. Let me let you all hear this. It's right outside Leakin Park, right on the edge of Leakin Park. And you can't really see anything else out here, but if anyone is here, please speak up. There's no other voices. There's just the car in the background, and that's it. Now, I'm not going to count this end as having any voices in it because it could have been my sister speaking to me. But I know that in this spot, she was not speaking to me. There was no one talking to me. So I have this part marked, but I can't say why I have it marked because I don't know why I have it marked. And that's the honest truth. And so therefore, I would have actually marked that separately. So I would have marked it and then I would have pulled it separately. I would have pulled it to fit the number of seconds. Now, if I listened back on that real quick. Okay, so there's a voice sound there. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go in and see whether or not I had actually set that particular thing aside. Whether or not I had actually opened up that particular file to see if that voice was in there. At 8.4. So 1 at 8.4 to 10.2. So that is exactly it. So let's go in and look at the close file. Oh, see, that's not opening right. So this is the kind of weird, super weird stuff that I find myself having to deal with. It's just so odd. So I'm going to try this real quick for you all. You minimize. Let's try to do this. That was really just a browser trying to open that, and I don't know why. See, now it claims it can't find it, but yet that information is sitting right on this file where I created it, which was inside the file. Why I know this works is because this entire file that you see right here, that's this file right here. I recorded it here, and here's its, I created it in this folder, and there's its data folder right there. So now I realize something. I'm missing the data folder for this. There is no data folder, even though there should be a data folder. So I've got entire data folders that seem to be missing. It's this kind of thing that happens when we put everything in a folder. We're doing all the work we got to do. We bring it back, and items and pieces are missing after we've created stuff. Now, is all lost? By no means is everything lost, because I had already created a segment that showed. Oh man. I'd already created a segment that shows what's going on, or a segment that uses that separates that part out. What I'm having a problem with right now is just other things in sound that I shouldn't be actually hearing. Right now I don't have hearing loss issues. I don't have any so therefore I don't have tinnitus or anything, because tinnitus is hearing loss, not hearing, so I had to be very particular about when I'm hearing a pitch sound and making sure that that's not hearing loss, like when you're coming out of a music concert, and making sure that it's either something I'm hearing or hearing loss, because it can be confused for hearing loss. But when things start happening that are really weird, I start getting those sounds. They don't happen at any other time, unless something's attempting to get a hold of me. And each time I do a recording, I then pick something up. It does, whether it's there or not. That's why I always put it to an audience to find out if they can hear it. So here's what I'm actually going to end up doing. I don't have a folder for this, so I'm going to have to trash this because I don't have a folder for it. So I'm going to have to trash that and then take this and reopen it in Audacity. Okay, so now I've managed to reopen it again in Audacity. And this time I'm actually going to save it in the folder where it was located originally. And and put it in that saved location where I originally have it. So we've got, I don't know what these strange folders are, but go into our home folders, go into Messenger Guardians, and go ahead and try to save those, or save those items. So and the places where I've been. So let me go ahead and pull this over and save it. It's almost as if this should just pull right over, but guess what? It's not even moving. It's so weird. It's so weird. So MGP. All right, let's do this real quick, guys, so that I can actually save this without you all having to be bored by it. It's just kind of weird that nothing wants to work the way it needs to work. So it's really kind of odd. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and it's just so weird. This is all so weird. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and listen to this file real quick. I've got it saved, and let's just listen to it. Let me let you see it again, so that you know I'm not doing anything to it to manipulate it or do a negative manipulation of it. The word manipulation is negatively implied, so I don't like that word because it means you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, and that's what's happening here. That's not what is happening here. Oh, I can't even speak tonight. So let's play this. Okay, again, this was not my sister talking. She wasn't on the phone, and I was outside the car, and the car engine was running. So if anything, the car is really just oh yeah, the car is serving as a background noise for forming the necessary sounds, from thought to sound, from thought wave to sound wave. We do that ourselves whenever we're about to say something, and a fraction of a moment before it's the thought. Except we have the ability in three-dimensional space to actually bring it into life through our vocal cords, and then using the surrounding air in order for you to pick it up. All those nice little cute little physics things. But in this case, they have to go from thought to using the white noise in the air, the white noise and other background sounds, in order to form the sound, in order to form the voice. And it's a little bit harder to do. It's a little bit harder on a quantum level to control how that works out, between, in that trapped area between 3 and 5 dimensions, and trying to get a thought through the barrier of a dimension you haven't completely left, of a dimension where you're just almost trapped in an in-between space. So let's go ahead and amplify. It's hard on my ears too, because it went up really high in my ears. But what I'm doing is trying to make sure this is going to sound right. So let me turn it down on the desktop a little bit so it doesn't blow you all out. Okay, that's as good as I'm going to make it get. And we're going to listen to it again. And I may have to change its speed, but only just barely. So it sounds like what I'm hearing are 3 separate sounds. Let's do it again. 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 Let me give a salute to David of EVP Mediums. I'm finally starting to remember names of groups, not people. I've known David for half my life. More than half my life now. So, yeah, well over half my life. So, who taught me to listen through syllables. Listen to the syllables, and the moment you can hear the syllables, it doesn't go away. sound doesn't go away. And that's where, again, let's do again. Okay, so it sounds like I need to slow it up just to change its speed. But instead of changing its speed here, which only shifts the speed artificially and then goes right back, it doesn't do anything with it when you save it. I have to go in and I have to go to speed and listen to it that way and change its speed that way. So change speed. I have to preview it when I do this. That way I don't change it inadvertently and screw it all up, and we're not pretending like something's there that isn't. You all are listening right along with me. But again, there are those of you who will absolutely hear it. And then there are those of you where and I've learned this, for folks whose hearing isn't that great at all, there's certain layers of sound that simply cannot be accessed if you're hard of hearing because you're hard of hearing. I have extraordinarily bad eyesight. When you all see me, when you guys see me, looking like this, it's so inadvertent. I don't do it on purpose, where I'm looking like I'm Popeye or something. It's mainly because I can't see out this eye, and so therefore when I have it closed and I'm doing this, half the time I don't know I'm doing it because I can't tell, because I see maybe 20-30% at this eye and maybe 60 to 70% out of this eye. So all my sight pretty much is here. If I got smashed in this eye, I'm legally blind. So, and look, I just gave somebody information out there. But my apologies, sorry. So sometimes people can't always hear. Their hearing is just not calibrated to hear certain frequencies. And you know what? That is absolutely okay. Some folks whose hearing might be down, their vision might be far more excellent than mine, and they can see things moving and catch things that I'm not gonna be able to see unless I'm up close or staring into outer space. If I'm looking up at the stars, it's really hard to explain this, but I can see certain things in space at an extreme distance. I can catch certain things. I think it's because of the frequency they're vibrating at that I can actually catch. But standard stuff I can't see, unless it's orbiting Earth and has got lights on the bottom of it or something, which that's a whole nother experience that I might cover on this show. And if I can cover, I would like to cover it live while looking up at the night sky, if I can do it, and I don't know, because right now I don't have the equipment. But let's try and this is interesting. I'm gonna say okay here, because I'm starting to catch the three words, but I'm not sure I'm gonna say what it is because I've got three of the words. Of the three words, I may have only one. The first one, I know what that's being said. I think I know the second one, but the third one is hard to make out. Let's play that again. One more time. One more time. Now I'm going to actually go back in and slow this down one more time. It's not always the easiest thing trying to deal with these hand devices. Not always, but we're going to try to slow it down. I apologize. I'm going to also take the loudness, do a noise reduction at the same time, so that I can get a bit of a noise reduction on the file, to take down some of the background noise if we can do it. If I think that taking off the background noise is going to make it distort, I'm going to return it back to its original state, because you can't distort it and then hope you're going to get something and hope magically words are being said. You distort it, you distort their frequency, you can't hear them. Just like if you distort the frequency I'm speaking on, you're not going to be able to hear me if you try and tweak at it too much. So it's no different than trying to find a piggybacked signal on a regular radio station signal coming across the sky. If you tweak too much and you tweak past the vibration rate of that signal, you're not going to find it. This is no different when you're trying to hear for something. And then you wonder whether or not you're just getting someone's thoughts coming across this, whether or not it's a passerby. When I say passerby, I don't mean a physical one, because nobody passed us by that night there. We were at the end of the street, and there was nobody. And I still haven't told you what happened. It was amazing that I got this recording back at all. But listen again. That sounds a little bit better now that I did a little bit of noise reduction. So let's do the repeat of the noise reduction real quick, and hopefully again it won't distort badly. Let's listen again. Okay, so now you can hear it a bit better. So let me see what it sounds like for you all. Okay, so I'm going to noise reduce one more time. Okay, now I'm going to turn it up for you all so that you can hear it a bit more. And let's try and play that again for you. Alright, now I'm going to try and slow it down again just a little bit. I'm going to try to shift its speed one more time. That's a bit fast, so I'm going to drop it down. Okay, again, there is a voice. There are 3 words. We're going to do one more thing other than we're going to amplify it again. Bring it back up a little bit more. Now for you all, that was a little loud, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit so that it won't blow you out of your chairs, out of your... Okay, so that's a little bit more. And now one more thing that I can that I can take back if it doesn't work right, because it doesn't sound right. I've done noise reduction. I'm going to go in and see what it sounds like with its pitch slightly changed. All right. Now we're going to go over here and let you see that. I'm not doing anything with it, I'm just looking at the pitch change. Now, to me it sounds like she's saying, "You heard that. You heard that." But again, if someone else thinks they know what's going on, as a matter of fact, I hadn't jumped onto my chat to look because I've been so focused on getting the show up tonight that I want to go ahead and look and see if anybody has anything going on in the chat that wants to say what they think they hear. I tried to make this interactive. I want to really make this to where you all can tell me what you think you're hearing. So, and of course, no one's in the chat for the moment. Quite often, I don't get anyone in chat till later. But if there's anyone watching who's in the chat and Twitch who wants to listen or who wants, I've got it sitting in front of me, and I think I probably should put it up to where I can actually see it, to where I can actually turn up the light on it and see it, because again, my eyesight is pretty bad, so I can't always see. So there we go. If anyone thinks they hear what's going on, I hear a woman's voice saying 3 words. So, but that's where we are. But I could hear her when I couldn't when I was listening to the original file that you all heard, and there it is. That's what I was hearing, but that's probably as good as it's going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and save the project where it needs to be saved, so that I can pull up something else for you all to listen to and go back. And this time I'm going to. Oh, didn't open the right thing. Sorry, I've got my browser set up in a really weird way on my system to where it's not the first option that opens something up. Okay, well, I mean, I think everybody's okay. All right, this was really weird right here. Is that I think I have a video for this one. I don't know where the video is for the file you're about to hear. I have no idea where it is. But this has never happened before. I'm gonna let you listen to the whole thing before. I'm gonna let you listen to the whole thing before you see anything about it. You probably might have already caught it, but before you see anything about it, I'm gonna let you listen. I'm gonna let you listen to it, which is a really strange piece. It really is. So here it is. Kind of talked about it, and Dan Bellum may give you another shout out, but you did talk about the gunshots. And anyone who's out here, please speak. I've got two audio sources going, which is what you should have. Okay, I only turn my microphone off because I don't want any background noise to come in over over you all. So while you're trying to listen to this, but try and listen to this one more time, so that you can hear something that I can assure you, I wasn't a clipped word. It wasn't me accidentally starting something then not finishing it. I remember very, very clearly what I was doing to this moment. 3.5 years on, I can remember exactly what I was doing when I held that recorder in my hand and I was talking, because I still haven't gotten to the part about how I was able to rescue these recordings. It was really crazy. So listen again. I'm not going to pull it over to the other screen until I'm ready to show you. I talked about it, and Dan Bellum may give you another shout out, but you did talk about the gunshots. And anyone who's out here, please speak. I've got two audio sources going, which is what you should have. I talked about it, and Dan Bellum may give you another shout out, but you did talk about the gunshots. And anyone who's out here, please speak. I've got two audio sources going, which is what you should have. Okay, I don't really know how long I have been talking without the audio. This happens so often, and I have to figure out a way around it. Because what happens is that my audio lets in small amounts of background noise. And when you are doing paranormal investigation, you don't want small amounts of background noise. Um, you don't want it infiltrating and infecting the sounds you're trying to put out for analysis. Otherwise, the hum of the gaming computer, which is the only thing I can use to run this sort of system. I don't game. Not that I wouldn't. I love gaming. I just haven't done it in years. But actually, a couple of years. but but I don't want those extra sounds in the background coming through. And I just realized I didn't have my audio back on again, and this would be a problem even if I had a hotkey. This would be a problem. The idea is that I need to remember to turn my audio back on, and I'm not rich enough to pay people to do things like that for me. So here I am. Believe me, that's not jealousy talking. I'd rather be doing it myself for a long time to come. But what I was saying, and let me play this for you again because it makes sense, because what I'm going to do is edit this down in YouTube so that me with the microphone not being on isn't heard. But something did happen at the 102 point where I had said mark this at 102 because I had something flip in front of me, turn white right here, move away at 102 in the mark for the film. So I might mark, even if the audio wasn't on, I'll mark it at that point and keep it on up until that point, and then go from there. Let me play one more time because, again, I don't know how long I spoke without having it on. Ben. Ben. That's me saying the word Ben. Ben. And that's what I had played. Like I said, I wasn't skipping over and saying another word, then stopping, then starting over, or having one thought and then suddenly there's another. I wasn't changing my sentences as I had said before I realized my microphone was off. And this is hilarious because it's a thing you probably look forward to me doing. Is that this isn't something that I do out of nowhere, and at best I can remember, it hasn't happened since. So really very strange, very odd that this would take place the way it does, and it's just so incredibly odd. Let's play the whole thing one more time, all the way through, so we can hear it, and I'll play it all the way through from start to finish. Kind of talked about it, and Dan Bellum may give you another shout out, but you did talk about the gunshots. And anyone who's out here, please speak. I've got 2 audio sources going, which is what you should have. And of course, it is true to have 2 audio sources going when you're doing a recording. And again, what I was saying is you heard me say the word Ben, which was really odd, as if someone was speaking through me. Now, I didn't get sick. I didn't get the woo-woos, or the demons or stuff like that. I almost slipped up and said the SH word. Nothing like that happened. Everything is above board when I do my work. And if I feel for some reason that something is not clear or shouldn't be put out there, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say so, and I'm going to lay that face wide open so that you can see that if there is a problem, if there is some kind of issue, it should be understood. So, but it's just really odd that I would say that name. Yeah. Yeah. And then the next thing I did is to ask someone if they needed to speak up. Anyone who's out here, please speak. I've got 2 audio sources going, which is what you should have. Okay, now I'm discovering something that is not my sister's voice. It's not her speaking, because she did not speak outside the car. She did not stick her head out the window and talk to me. Nothing. And she didn't have the radio on. So none of that was going on. As a matter of fact, other than the car running, and there was a funny thing about the car running. If I got out the car and the boogeyman grabbed me, my sister said, "Well, I just have to explain to our parents that, oh well, you know, the boogeyman got him, because I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal and take off. The boogeyman can have you." So, let's just put it to you this way. I salute my sister for that one, because you know what? To this day, I'm like, I'm totally with you. If they grab me, you're in no position to try and come and rescue me. The boogeyman might have me, and might be done for a second later. You don't know. So take off and run if you gotta run. So it's a running joke, but it's no joke. So anyhow, that was why the engine was always running. Plus, where we were on the edge of Gwynns Falls, and those areas are actually pretty deserted at night, even at just 10 o'clock at night. It's so eerie in those areas. Those areas are really old. Gwynns Park area is really old. Gwynns Falls and Leakin Park area is really old. And there was a point when we drove into the area, and I had my sister stop, because we drove into an area where we were headed to a really old, and I mean old, 1790s block of the city, maybe 1740s or 50s, back towards the founding of the city. We were headed back towards an old block, and there was this horrible eeriness that just crept up every hair on my body, like they were standing around the car. And I never ever forgot that. That was the weirdest and most messed up moment that we ran into, was that issue taking place. It was an absolute mess. I am here to tell you, it was a true mess. And I'm not really sure how to describe it other than the way I just did. And I'm trying to figure out where am I going with this, because I want to tell you where I'm going with this. But it was just so weird and so strange, so deeply strange, very eerie. So what I wanted to do was, before I moved on to recording number 3, I wanted to go into recording 2. Between the time I said the word Ben and the time I was coming off of this. Let me play it. Okay, we can't hear it. My voice can't be coming off that at all, so make sure that it's in here. It's only the white noise of the vehicle. Just in case, what I'm trying to do is find out if someone tried to say something here but couldn't, and then the word Ben came to me. So what I'm trying to do is figure out, did someone actually say something to me, or attempt to put a sound through the line before I said it myself. Again, this stood out to me in such a way. It was so odd, so very, very odd. So let me go in and let me export the selected audio. Actually, let me go down here because it doesn't like to move. So this was a 23.2 second, or 23.5, 23, not even 23 and a half, so it's more like 23.1 second recording. So the recording at about 7.7, 11.2. So 7.7 to 11.2. So here, 7.7 to 11.2. Okay. 7.7, since I can't use the actual to 11 P2, since I can't use the period, or it throws off the file file type, where the file type is located. I can't use a period. Can only be done inside the file type. Back in here again, Messenger Guardians, and then I'm going to and then we're going to throw this in here like this. And we're going to do this. And let's take a moment to open it up now, so that we can see if we can actively look inside the file and see if there is something going on. And later on, I'm going to try to change these and make them different. All right. Various. There we go. Here we go. All right. So it's open. This is so weird. It's so weird because these files are being scattered all over the place. I almost always have an order to my files where it's orderly, it's nice, and now I'm having a hard time trying to find them all, and I'll have to redirect them. But that's the pain of doing this kind of work, is making sure you have a central place to pull the investigation from. All the central files are in the right place, but there's nothing I can do about files that suddenly corrupt. I have had files corrupt on screen right in front of me while I was playing them. On screen, right in front of me, crashed completely, and I couldn't get it back. Weird. I mean, a perfectly working computer that doesn't crash. It doesn't crash rarely. I use Linux, so we're not talking about much in the way of crashes here, unless you just have a bad laptop like my other laptop that's about to get replaced, where I have to, on occasion, restart stuff because the processor's using too much, and it locks up. Otherwise, the actual operating system doesn't lock up. Linux doesn't lock up on you. You have to screw that thing up so badly to get it. It's not it's not another operating system. Excuse me, I must have had a cough there that sounded almost like a letter in the alphabet I was about to say. It's not like another operating system that does crash easily, along with another operating system that's I'm not going to say anything about either. So when you're doing it in Linux, and you're doing it in whatever form of flavor of Linux you like to use, you can be assured that you're getting the least amount of corrupt issues going through, and plus nobody's creating, well, not very many people are able to create the necessary stuff to destroy your operating system, except maybe the government. They probably can destroy any operating system in existence. So, but otherwise, just to the occasional 16-year-old in the basement is not going to attack operating system of people who only 5% of the world uses it. So here I am blustering on about operating systems, but it's something that you have to think about when you're doing this kind of work. Yes, I know I'm not running around a graveyard in the middle of the night and creating spooky music and all that kind of stuff, but I've got a couple of the things I'm going to play for you tonight, and hope that of something that I haven't reviewed in a while, but that I want you to watch me review. That's really good work that I did, and I'm hoping to be able to do that same thing in England, where I'm going to be doing a lot of exploring when I can around London and other places. And I did actually bring you some stuff that I did in London last summer, and I'm probably going to be doing more of that, where I'm doing it and then bringing it back and analyzing it in Twitch online. It's just that the times are going to be a bit different now. They're going to be a bit different for a couple of months and not be on East Coast time. So forgive me if you see it come up, but at least the show will be there and it'll be in YouTube. So let's listen to see actively if anybody tried to say anything to me. And if I can't find it after a few adjustments, it's gonna be, no, they must have just thought it real hard and beamed it directly at me, instead of trying to make all the white noise form words on that quantum level. Make the white noise vibrate with thought, the quantum power of thought, enough to begin trying to form the words precisely in three-dimensional space. Hard to do with white noise, but it can be done all the time. It can be done even easier with the white noise of water, but if you got to listen to it at a very particular speed, water can drown out too. You can do it with a fan, but again, you got to be careful at how much of that white noise you use. Sometimes they don't like it. And you can also do it with radio white noise, like with the PSP7 or something like that. One night, at some night, I'm going to actually open up a PSP11 or a PSP7 and do some actual questioning. So I'm kind of hoping it doesn't wake people up, but it's going to be on a Friday or Saturday night when I throw it down, so it's not going to be too bad on anyone needing to work the next day. So let's play this. This is live. I haven't done this before at all, okay? God, I know I talk a lot, blah, 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 but hey, you gotta love it. Let's begin by amplifying this first. First, let's hear what it sounds like, but I'm going to amplify it, so I'm getting the file ready for amplification. So that may be nothing, so let's go ahead and amplify it just a little bit. Alright, a bit loud. Well, let's turn it down a little bit. Alright, there is a little bit of an up movement towards the end there, but again, that doesn't really mean much of anything. Alright, so I've turned the line up a little bit. This isn't promising at all. It doesn't sound like I didn't say that anybody did say anything along this stretch of the line, along this 8.7 to 11.2 or something. So I didn't say anybody did say anything, but I just wanted to analyze the line and show you how I do it if I was going to do it. Now, since the whole thing is already laid out, I'm going to slow it down. Okay, this is starting to bother me, and let me say why. Because I am actually starting to hear someone speaking towards the very beginning part of it, like they're trying to say something to me. I wasn't looking for this. You all are finding this right here with me right now. Let me try and turn this up a little bit to see if I can get you to hear it. For those who have the ability to hear this frequency, listen towards the beginning of this. Okay, let me turn that down a bit. I know it's in the red, so I apologize. Hold on. Okay, it's at the very beginning of this, and it's really odd. So I'm going to push it up a little bit and listen to it more. I can still hear it, but if I push it up any further, I'm not going to be able to hear it. I'm pulling it back down a little bit. Let me turn it up a little bit more for you all. Just a little bit so you can hear it. That might be too much. I realize that it gets into the red a little bit. It might hurt your ears. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's ears. I'm trying to control the levels at the same time I'm doing this, which is tricky. When you're trying to show this on screen and control the levels, it's really tricky. And it's at the very beginning of that, and it's still too high. Let me pull it down. Alright, that might be a little bit better, so I'm going to play it again a couple of times so that y'all can hear it a little bit better without having to worry about me blowing your ears off, blowing the stack on your ears off. So again. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself while I'm doing this, how am I going to play my ghost box through to you all as an audio source? It's going to be really weird because it's going to be making a lot of noise, and I'm going to have to use my microphone in order for you all to hear it, because the source will be external to the computer itself, so you won't be able to hear it through the computer. You'll have to hear it through the mic. It's going to be really odd, but it's something I want to do for you all, but it's not the easiest thing to do. And honestly, it's something that I might have to do at another location, where I can say be in a hotel room by myself, where I'm not in an apartment with others. And one, I'm keeping them safe because I'm not bringing in those who might not leave and who might harass others and do things. I'd rather bring someone into my space that I have the ability to clear out of my space, of my own space, my own 5-foot, 10-foot surrounding, that kind of thing. But I'm very picky about it. When I lived here alone, I could do this, and I really wasn't too bothered. I can clear them out of this space. But to me, you treat everybody that lives with you like family. You really don't bring them into your family home when you have others here and take that chance. So that's why, if you're going to do stuff, or if you're going to experiment on communicating, and you're trying to do it in the most, here's your intent, you're trying to do it in the most ethical way possible, then you have to figure out a way to do it where it's not going to bring harm to the family. Where there's children around, you just don't bring them in. They're going to come in naturally if the children are sensitive. But if there's children around, you don't just suddenly open up the Ouija board and get on and start lighting candles and going crazy. If your intent is to go crazy and just be silly and stupid, and you're an adult, that could cause a problem. If you're just a child, yeah, there might be energies out there. There might be energies out there that are vibrating at a certain frequency in order to keep things away from young ones. And I mean really youngins. I'm not talking about teenagers. I'm talking about super young ones who are 10 and they try it out or whatever. There might be something out there that could be protecting them. And I don't mean that on any religious level. None of it. All of this. Let's just think about it in a Marvel universe kind of way, where the universe is far more interesting than you can possibly imagine. So little tiny ones might have people out there watching after them when they do stuff like that. But the older you get, the more you can control your free will, and you can control how you do things, and the more you should be able to critically think, even if you're not ready to critically think. So this is the reason why I'm very particular about, even though I want to do it from the studio, because it is appropriate to do from the studio. Either I do it and no one else is here at the time I do it, which might be when I have to do it, is to record a video where I'm doing this, but no one else is here at the time. Or I might have to do it on at a remote studio, using my remote studio equipment and the portal or box itself, ghost box itself. So it's one of those things you have to think about. Okay, so now we're working on speed one more time. So let's listen in. Okay, now it sounds like it's a bit fast. Like it's too fast. Let's pull it down a little bit. Okay, I can hear the person again, so I'm just going to say okay. And we're going to listen to it again. And it's right in here where it's occurring. It's right in here. Alright, we can hardly hear it. Let's just start at the beginning again. there, and it was one word. And this happens on a normal basis and then stops happening. So I'm going to do a noise reduction. I'm going to reduce the background noise again on this. Get a noise profile first, otherwise I'm not going to be able to reduce noise. And I can set how far down I want to reduce it. I just open it and put it at it's already preset for me. Sorry about that, but it's already preset. So I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to play it again. Okay. Now we're going to slow it up again. I've already reduced enough noise. I won't reduce any more. It's hard to know what she's saying. It is a woman speaking, and it's hard to know what she's attempting to say. This is why I originally did not hear her the first time, and this is another reason why I don't go after C-class EVPs. C-classes are so difficult to notice. Quite often, they're either talking to each other or to someone else, referring to something else. You don't always assume they're talking to you when you hear them. Sometimes they're speaking in passing and not listening to you at all. But you can hear them on the line, and quite often it's in flat lines. 90% of the time, you don't pick up anything. And I did hear one word, and I heard it consistently, and then it disappeared because I had slowed it down enough to hear this. 3 words. Okay, now, the first word, you're not going to believe me if I tell you what I think she's saying is the first word, because it sounds exactly like something else that comes next, that only comes, well, listen, let's go ahead and, okay, the speed is okay, so we're going to leave it there. Alright, we're going to go back to effect, we're going to go back to amplify. I know this is boring to watch, but it really will get interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know if you all can hear this, but I can hear this. So I'm going to look and see where it is. I'm going to turn this up. Okay, so okay, we're going to play this. And again, this comes right before the section that I showed you before. I'm finding this live in front of all of you because I didn't before. 3.5 years ago, I didn't get it. I actually did go back to my hotel room and I made these files, and some of them just got destroyed. I don't know, I just can't explain what happened to the audio files the way they were, and I'm looking to make sure all of my stuff is set up the way it needs to be, and it is. So yeah, only because I'm trying to come down off of my crazy high right about now. But this is kind of crazy. This is, you just have to listen to it again. Okay, now I'm going to go in here and Okay, I'm not trying to prejudice any of you all, so I need you to look at my fingers. I'm not going to write down underneath and for a while, for a bit, what it is I'm directly hearing this female voice say. But I hear it entirely and it won't go away now, which is insane because I say it or it's said through me right after this. How did I know to look on the line before I said it? Because I was trying to see if someone was trying to communicate to where I couldn't pick it up with my own ears. Usually I can pick it up with my own ears or with the devices more easily. But sometimes there is what's called an EVPC or C level. There's A class, B class, C class. The A and B classes are the only ones really worth trying to look for. The C classes are only useful when you've got something you can't make sense of, but there's something right before it, or there's a clear space, a flat line right before it, an area where they shouldn't have been talking and you didn't hear anything. But it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means the frequency in which you are searching the line isn't. It's out of range, and you have to bring it into range. Honestly, I'd have been okay if I didn't hear or see, if I didn't hear any of this tonight. So I know I've got my mic sitting right in front of me as far as I can stretch it out because it needs to be in my face when I'm talking. So hopefully I don't have a lot of P's to throw out because then that's going to get in the way. But I want you all to hear this again. I'm going to turn the mic off for a moment so you can get the whole thing without any background disturbance from the mic. All right, so now I'm going to do this. I'm going to go up to, this is just, I just wasn't expecting this tonight. Labels, I'm going to go add selection, and I'm going to type Ben, tell him who you are. Female voice. This happened up in Michigan quite often. Okay, this happened there a lot, and I can't even remember whether or not I've watched the Michigan one with you all, and I may not have watched it, but I might do that, just not tonight because we're already going quite a distance tonight. Okay. Sorry everyone, I know this is tedious, but this is how it works. When I say how it works, this is what you do when you have to lay things out. And because I wasn't going to do this before I played it for you all as many times as I could play it for you before I did it. Now, it's best you know what an EVP3 is. It's just best you know that it does exist. It's not something we go after on a consistent basis all the time. It's not something we go for on a consistent basis because they're hard to hear. They're hard to confirm. And you know what? Even if there's someone there, Who knows? This could all be one big galactic video game and we could be making it all up. Who knows? Okay. This is just odd to listen to because I wasn't expecting it, and I was hearing it for the first time in front of you all. Again, I didn't fake that. So let's play it one more time. Well, it'll be more than once. How do you guys like that I got a blue light on? I've got the big light working above me. I don't like it so much, but it's a soft, I've got a soft gel in, so it's kind of cool. Listen again. So, okay, I'm not making up what I'm hearing. I'm hoping you all are able to hear this. I don't know what this part in the end right here is, because there's nothing making any. My sister doesn't rev gun the vehicle or anything, nothing like that. It's running at the same frequency. There's no other cars out there that are turned on, but I don't know what that sound is. Right after Ben, tell them who you are. And then you hear a problem right in this area right here, which is really weird. So, Ben, tell them who you are. That's going to be saved. Because again, yeah, I didn't make that up. First of all, I'm going to save it and I'm going to export this into, well, export it to its own MP3 file. Into various. I'm just going to export it to its own MP3 file so that it can never be lost, so it can be heard in its fully and then I'm going to save the file itself, save the project file itself. Okay, and now I'm going to take what I've selected down here. I'm going to go what I've selected at the end, and I'm going to export selected audio and find out what the hell that sound is. Sorry if there's any children listening. Okay, and this will be just 3.5 to 4.1 from the sounds of it, that's what it is. Yeah, 3.4 to 3.45, 3.47 to 4.11. I'm sorry. 3.47 to 4.11. So at 3.47 to 4.11. Okay. And yes, if you want to know whether or not I know what that says or what that means, yes, I do. So I'm just breaking it down into the areas where it needs to be. And so now here it is. Here's the one I just, because I gotta find out what that sound is, and it's a really weird sound. Right, Ben, tell them who you are. And then there's this weird sound just before my voice picks off, but my voice isn't in this section. You all saw me separate my voice out so that it wouldn't be in this section. So that you wouldn't hear me. You wouldn't hear me breathing. You wouldn't hear anything. And I wasn't breathing that heavy that night because it wasn't really cold. So, all right, let's look at this. Now I'm going to go in. I'm going to noise reduce. Well, only after I select, which is what it was telling me to do there. It said you can't noise reduce without selecting, you idiot. All right, let me go to the far end here. Let me noise reduce this. Oh, gosh, guys, crazy. I'm getting a really annoying noise in my ear. Okay, like someone's trying to make a point. Again, I have real good hearing, so I'm not losing my hearing in that regard. Perhaps pareidolia and losing hearing can explain some things, and I will grant that. Just not all the time and every time, because then you're just reaching for excuses. So here we go. I've noise reduced. Okay. Which is really, really odd. Okay, so I'm going to go in now and speed reduce. No, actually, I'm going to speed it up. Too fast. Entirely too fast. Okay, let's play it. Now, I'm hearing two words, so we're going to keep trying to slow this up a little bit. But this time I'm going to do an artificial slow up, which will not be permanent. Back it up over here. Nope, too fast. It's going way outside the frequency it belongs in. Okay, so I was wondering what was going on, but what I'm getting is two different frequencies being spoken on. But it's consistent in its language, and again, this isn't something that I found that I knew was here. It was something I suspected was there. But at the same time, again, because I've done this so much, I was fine for it to be empty. Would it provide for clicks? Would it provide for, oh, did you hear that? No, it wouldn't. But that's not what I'm trying to do. But what's interesting is that I am, when I just let go and I decide that if I'm not going to find anything, then so be it, nothing's there. But there are times when you hear a consistent command. So this is moving so fast on the line, and because of the way the line is set up, that, you know, this is where it feels like it's moving here. And here. Or I should say towards the end and here. But it seems to have a thick movement here and a thick kind of movement right in here before it stops. The word, it's long there, short here. It's hard to see the line move unless you see the line move slowly, and I'm not going to make it do that. Okay, I don't know if you all are hearing it, but I am. However, I will say this much: it's amazingly consistent with what's being said, or with what's being projected. Where someone is saying, "Go ahead, Ben. Tell him who you are. Go ahead." It's like there's more than one of them speaking to Ben. And I was saying that I was feeling more than one of you around me who's here. This is there's I can feel you. And someone's like, Ben, tell them who you are. Go ahead. And then I say the word Ben. Again, I wasn't looking for this. This is something that I'm doing, that I'm finding. I'm going to, again, save this as its own. I'm going to export this as its own MP3 so that I can listen to it again at some point. But I'm going to export it as its own MP3. I'm not going to export it again as a wave because I'm not trying to do any more analysis. There is a point where the line can completely break down if you attempt to analyze it too much. The line will physically just break down, and there's nothing left, and you won't be able to do anything more with it. So it's truly amazing the kind of work we can do when we're listening to stuff. But I wasn't trying to say these things. It was just coming. It was just so odd. And I've gone through so much that the kind of the stuff that I wanted to show you. Let me go back over to this one, and I'll pull it over to you real quick so that you can see it. There we go. All right. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to show it to you one more time so that you can see where it was on the line on this one. Okay, it's acting stupid because I didn't set it right. Kind of talked about it, and Dan Bell, I'm going to give you another shout out, but you did talk about the gunshots. And anyone who's out here, please speak. I've got 2 audio sources going, which is what you should have. Okay, so now I can show you once again. You hear me say the word Ben right here. I don't know why I didn't put that in the appropriate spot. Let me do that now. You hear me say the word Ben right here. Let me pull this over a little bit more because this is actually me saying Ben. So that's what that is. And you kind of see what happens when we are trying to do the most tedious of things. Let me try that one more time. Like trying to work with the mouse. Trying to make my mouse go across this. There we go. And go back up here again. And label it. Oops, wrong side. Label it. And then. Okay, that's me saying Ben. And then this area right in here, I don't really plan to go over this stuff again in a show. So I don't mind putting this in here. Go back to labeling. And I'm going to do something again, EVP Class C, something that I don't often talk about because I don't often go for them. It's Ben, tell them who you are. And then there's a second voice. Go ahead. EVP-C voice V1. I'll just make it clear where I am here. V1. Then tell them who you are. Go ahead. So all of that occurs in the area right before Ben, in my voice. me saying Ben before a regular question. What? Why did I say that name? So why did I say this name? So again, it feels like the name was being shifted to my voice or sent to my thoughts completely. Whoever this was, they were quite a bit strong enough to send it to me this way, and that's generally why I have it like this. Is to put it in like that. Let me go back to labels so I can. This was said in my own voice. Whomever this may be, he's strong enough to project his name to my mind and let me be and use my voice. His friends, however, I barely made out. Okay, so his friends I barely made out. So let me pull this down and let me bring this over so it can be seen. So, and that's fine. I can, all right. So his friends, I could barely make them out. Class C. Class C's are very weak EVPs that often you are not going to hear them with your natural ear listening to the tapes, but often you go and search for them when you are being very particular in your questioning and something weird comes up, something that's being said, something that thrown, something that falls. Then you go back to the line and assume there's something being said that can't be heard because the frequency is off and it just can't be picked up. It's picked up. It actually got picked up by the equipment, but I wasn't analyzing at a frequency where it could be heard. Now, did I make some of that up? Yeah, maybe. But how is it that I'm making up voices that I wasn't expecting to hear, didn't really care if I heard it all, to say, Ben, tell him who you are? I actually thought that was something entirely different being said to me. Entirely different, not that. So when you all saw me have a sudden reaction to, holy crap, that's what's being said to me, I wasn't looking for that. That's not something that I looked to. I could have just left it at me saying, Ben, oh, it was weird, and move on. But if you don't go back and analyze and reach, and I don't mean reach as in reach and try and find something that ain't there. I'm talking and reach for the thing that it is, or the thing that it's attempting to be, which is a projected voice. You don't go back in there and reach for it to find it because it's probably sitting right there. You're never going to pull it forward and see it and realize it's there, sitting in front of you the whole time. It's like the discovering Pluto. I forget the name of them. I know the name of the scientist that discovered Pluto, but he was being told by others that he was just seeing things and that it wasn't there and that there's nothing out there other than, he's just seeing stars. And I know the guy's name too, but it wasn't just Pluto. It was Charon, and Pluto, I think, has two orbiting bodies. So Styx. So Charon and Styx. So and I hope I'm not wrong on that. I do trust that I am not wrong on that. From time to time, you all are going to get me trying to be amazing, and Pluto, Charon, Styx. There, Pluto, Charon, and Styx. Yep, Pluto, Charon, and Styx. So it's always good to know but it's not just Pluto and Charon, but there's more going on. I'm fine with being wrong, but yes, Pluto has icy moons. Okay, it's Charon, Nyx, and Hydra. I thought Styx, which was the river Styx. You guys know what that is. I thought it was Pluto, Charon, and Styx. It's Pluto, Charon, and Nyx, and Hydra. So these tiny little um, smaller icy things. So new data. I thought Pluto had a lot more things going on. Oh man. Okay, so see how my mind works? It does know, but I forgot about the other things. So it's Pluto. We know Charon, the large one, Hydra, Kerberos, Nix, Styx. There it is. So Pluto actually has one, two, three, four, five orbiting bodies. I know that sounds like something I wouldn't talk about on the channel of paranormal stuff, but guess what? There was once a time when Pluto was thought to have no moons, and then come to find out she actually has one. Now come to find out she has four other ones. They're much smaller and icier and only 48 kilometers across or what have you. But they're orbiting her and they're smaller bodies, and there you go. There is a larger body further out in the system that some scientists called Xena. That's out there too. But then they decided they were going to give it another name, because Xena has a moon also, and which scientists supposedly jokingly called Gabrielle. But if you all don't know what that means, look it up. But I like the idea, and I hope they get permanent names. But you have too much resistance in the scientific community. They don't want to go back to 9 planets, much less do 10. But I grew up in an era where there were 9 planets, and in my thought, screw it. There's 9 planets. I'm not dealing with just 8. I didn't grow up on 8. But again, it doesn't destroy the scientific community for there to be 8. I mean, for there to be 9 or 10. So much amazing things in the universe. I think the point I was making is that when you're told there's nothing, or that's not true, or that's not really happening, or that's not really a thing, and it turns out it really was a thing, and it had been a thing all along, you were just told to not believe that it was a thing. And here we are. You're not always going to pull out voices. You're not always going to hear things. Things aren't always going to be there. But it doesn't mean there's nothing there. I'm not saying this is all right 100%. But there is something there. And I'm getting another noise. I can pull up a recorder and start recording. But right now, I just want to focus on you all and focus on what we're looking at. So, man, there's that sound again. It's just so odd. Oh, it was really interesting. Luckily, I don't have it really going on for a long period of time. But again, I'm also not losing my hearing. So, very interesting. So, would you all like to actually go ahead and see one of the other investigations I did? I had it lined up for the folder tonight. So let me pull it up. It's actually up already. I just need to pull up the space where I had it listed. Oh, there we are. Here it is. This.
All right. Can you see me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So
this is back at Goddard College. And myself and one of our other colleagues was helping me do this. In the YouTube one, but I want to make sure you guys get to see this. This was done, I believe, back in 2015. This was actually done in 2015, in June of 2015. So, and it was dark, so it's going to be kind of hard to see. And I decided not to put this in as a I decided not to put this up as a source because I don't have all the sources working right, as you can see. But I want you all to watch this with me, and I'll let you, because you deserve the treat of being able to listen to me doing a live investigation instead of me having to have the files already stored. You don't know, I could have made it all up. Guess what? I actually didn't. If you really only understood just how difficult it would be to do that and the amount of work someone must be putting into it, no, it's best just to do an investigation, get nothing, and be satisfied for the moment. Because I don't go for Class C's unless I have to, like I did in that last piece I showed you. Otherwise, if someone's speaking at a frequency that's at Class C, I stopped a good 5 years ago trying to go for those. But let's listen to this. This was at Goddard College, and this was at the Music House. Um, uh, if I can find the videos where I was covering Goddard College and I was covering some things that happened during an interview and can show you the shadow that passed between myself and the camera that we could not reproduce to save our lives. Truly amazing. Truly amazing. It was at this institution, and I don't remember if it was in this year or if it was the year before when it happened. But I did a lot of exploration, and I'm going to try to find more Goddard College files because believe me, there was someone there in one of the other buildings, I think the administration building in the basement, who just did not want us there and made it very clear and even said so. Man, was he mad at us. He's called the Farmer. But anyway, check this out. This is back in 2015. And I'm trying to remember who this was that was with me, that was filming, because I always like my camera people to talk. But for right now, I can't remember his name to save my life. I know who it is. I just can't remember the name. He used to live out in California. Now I have no idea where he lives.
All right, can you see me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So we're going to go ahead and turn the music up, but I'm going to put on these commands. I'm going to put on for you, Devin. And, I'm going to put it on a fast AM scan, so you can come up and watch me. It doesn't matter while we have the light. Much light, so I'm going to go ahead and put it. I'm going to tune it down. So we have another recording device. So I'm going to use my Helm cam will act as a recording device. Always try to use at least as when recording. Like right now, we're recording as we go into the music.
I was saying always try to use 2 recording devices, and now I discovered why. And there's no shadow, by the way. If you all see a shadow, it's you're not going to catch one because my leg is running along the floor and the shadow's in the corner. That's my leg against the colored light on the floor. But anyway, so if you see, for instance, my leg is running along the floor back here, and if you noticed if you look down, now that's me. That is my legs sitting, running along the floor. That's just all me. Okay, that's all me right there. However, that is not what happened the night a shadow was caught running behind me and hesitating. And if you all haven't seen that video, you should go back and see it. And the angle, my camera is off now. You can't really see it when I do this close up because it's just strange. The angle when I bring the full screen doesn't work right. But when I go back to the desktop, you can see underneath. That's actually me moving this leg right here. That's what that is. That is not what you saw the night. Something paused behind me and then ran real quick, and my legs were stuck underneath. The lighting wasn't exactly at the right angle, correct angle, but my legs were not tied underneath. So like this, where my legs are hidden underneath. I had my legs down in front of me, and a dark shadow, hesitated and then moved along the colored lights along the edge of the bed here, and it was really wild. You should see it. It was while I was actually doing an analysis of I think the Cecil Part 1 is when that happened. So go back and catch that if you haven't. It's in YouTube, and I think there's a fragment of it or a section of it in Twitch, here in Twitch. So y'all might want to catch that. But this was another investigation. As you can see, I'm like Guinan on Star Trek: The Next Generation. I'm ageless. I saw. Well, I'm Elorian, and you know how old we live to be. But shh, I didn't say so. There you go. All right. Everyone here tends to know me already. Oh, and the video looks kind of odd the way it does is because YouTube crunched it and compressed it in order to make it work. I don't know where my original video is. I would have to dig it up and look for it. And what I do is I tend to do really short spurts of recordings. Really short, and then I have places to go back on in order to do them. Anyone with us? Anyone like to speak?
What's your name?
Seth.
This helps you communicate.
What you heard him say was Seth. Seth comes back at a later point. Seth visits me. Seth followed me back here to this place. I was living here alone and had been for most of 5.5 years of the 6 years. But Seth followed me back here.
Watch your step. The evening of June 25th, 2015 at Goddard College. This is the music house. Anyone like to speak? I'm here to help you. The woman I was here with a year ago, she helped cross one of you over. Is anyone interested? Or is anyone interested?
Now you heard something in that spot right there. Sorry. You heard a voice there, but I had gone to this spot at an earlier point with another friend of mine, the person who helped me found Messenger Guardians Paranormal. She's the one that made up the name, and it took me years before I realized how amazing that name was, because the term or the word messenger had been following me around since I was 28 years old, which is really strange. I'm 52, and I was 45 at the time the group was founded. We founded this group 46, so it had that name messenger had been following me around for quite a long time by that point, for nearly 20 years. Really strange. Let me pull it back. You can hear a voice when I'm asking a question. Let's pull it back a little bit. Let's do it again. You heard that voice? Let's do that again. Now, it sounds like the same person talking, but the music house was notoriously haunted, along with several other parts of the structures. But the music house was pretty crazy, and so was the barn. But I didn't get a chance to investigate the barn. The barn is now the theater. It's still called the barn, but it's part of the main building. It's strange but wonderful. I love Goddard. Got my MFA from this place.
The woman I was here with a year ago, she helped cross one of you over. Is anyone interested?
It's much easier if let me see where I am, 258, if I use the other program to open this, because the other program works so much better. VLC works so much better at playing these videos.
Alright, can you see me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now,
I'm going to slide it back to where we were listening
music
to
outfit
it.
I'm going to put on. Come on, I'm going to put on for you. The woman I was here with a year ago, she helped cross one of you over. Is anyone interested? speak. You have a voice.
Sorry, everyone, it was a bit loud.
There's no green power.
Now, did everyone catch that? I stopped it because of what you could actually hear. Listen to that woman's voice one more time. Let me back it up. I'll cut my microphone off so you don't hear get any extra sounds. Okay, it was right there. Let's back it up one more time. It's like at 321, but you can hear, and it is a woman's voice. It's like she's saying, here. It's really interesting. Let me turn it up a little bit more, and hopefully you guys will hear it. And I hope not to blow you out if you're wearing earphones, but be warned. Here. She said the word here. It's amazing. But yes, okay. I haven't listened to this in so long, and I'm catching things with you all that I would normally just never catch, which was truly amazing. So I know when I do a little shortened pic of this, I'll probably do a shortened area where I was listening to this video, and then you can get all my interesting stuff that I did at Leakin Park. It's a little teaser of the things I ran into. Hopefully, it can be a teaser of my return there, and I intend to be around long enough to do that and be able to put that out there for you. But listen to this one more time. Again, you're hearing this at the same time I am because I miss stuff whenever I'm listening. I heard Seth from the very beginning, and Seth followed me home. But some of these other ones might have also. So let's listen again one more time. She was very clear when she said, here. Just truly amazing. I didn't hear her until just now. It was just myself and my friend and my colleague, graduate student colleague, who was there with the camera with me.
There's no green power.
Okay, listen to that one more time. Well, you'll hear the woman again, but I was trying to go back to the voice right after hers. Here.
There's no green power.
And right there, you got a male voice talking, answering me again. There she is.
There's no green power.
And at 28, 29, 30, you hear this guy's voice. Absolutely amazing. Let me try and set this right. Let me try to set this to where it'll be right.
There's no green power.
Right there. And you hear another guy's voice. Again, you can hear it really clearly when you're playing it on these. I was recording, and I was recording using my phone, so I know I have these recordings somewhere where I was recording them from that device to this. which means I had a secondary device going, and I had the camera audio catching it behind me. So somewhere on my secondary items as well, where I caught it on another device where it can be heard. I just don't know where those files are. They're probably in here somewhere, in my mega storage site. But truly amazing. Okay, one more time. By the way, this is just me teasing you with what I would like to do sometime next week. If I can do it from Texas, I'll do it from there. If I do, it'll be maybe on a Saturday, and it'll be a much shorter show because I'm just going to be testing things out. I don't even know if I'll do one next week, but I hopefully, because this is going to go on a while, and I'm just, how I like to do teasers, because then I can put together a more full, richer Goddard College show. So I always try to tease you with the first 5 or so minutes of a larger piece that's going to take far longer to go through than the piece itself allows, because I have to do my commentaries.
Would anyone like to speak?
There's more talking going on just before I said that, and then just now. There's more talking going on in this recording. Let's back her up just a little bit. When we get to 5 minutes, I'll cut her out. There was talking right there.
Would anyone like to speak?
And right there, once again. Such a good shot of me, isn't it? That's actually my good side. There it is again. And let's back her up. Under the table. You can hear him under the table. You can hear the voices coming through so clearly. I will end up starting this over again. This 5 minutes, I'm just giving you a teaser, and then I'll end up playing the whole thing along with a couple other items that will, of course, go the whole show. Under the table. Did you guys hear that? Let's pull that up one more time. Let's bring it up a little louder, just in case you're missing it or can't hear it. Let's bring it up a little louder. Under the table. Okay, now you didn't hear it because that was too loud, because I noticed it was in the red, and I do apologize. It's still a bit in the red, I know, guys. Let me pull it down a little bit. Under the table. Guys, I cannot believe this. This is stuff that, let's mark at 2:23. This is stuff that I wasn't listening close enough for the first time I heard this. Again, I heard Seth, and Seth could have been speaking this whole time, but there was a woman, there was another guy, there's this one who keeps speaking clearly, and that can be heard coming through my PSP-7, which is what I'm carrying with me. It's a PSP-7, which is in my electronic box back over that way on the end of the bed. And I wish I could I'm going to just bring that stuff out. My PSP-11 I didn't have for years yet, until I started teaching in California. So it's truly amazing stuff. It really is. I don't know if I can get the hold of the video of the classes I held in California, But if I can get those, I definitely would like to let you all see at least a portion of those. But truly amazing. I just didn't expect to get some of the stuff I got. It's just truly amazing. Okay. I'm just so excited to hear these responses because I hadn't listened. And I want you to understand this is not, oh no, did you hear that? Oh, fear. It's not being said out of fear. It's not being even said because I'm afraid of it or they're afraid of me. There are a lot of spirits being said to hang around, energies hanging around the college. And it's not, a lot of the time they come to you when you're ready because of certain points in your life when you're ready to experience them and you need help yourself. And this helps you out. So yeah, this helps build me as the person I am right now. And this was 2015. It's now 2021. So yeah, I backed it up one more time. We're going to go to 5-minute point, and then we're going to play the whole thing next week. And I should have a whole slew of Goddard College stuff put together in my travel file. And if I do the show, I'm probably going to do the show on a Saturday night. And hopefully I got everything up and running and working well. And if not, I'll let you know. I'll come on with my phone. We'll talk for a little bit and I'll end, and it won't be a show. But I'll try to do something for you all if there's an issue. But it's going to be a test of my new equipment, my travel equipment, to try and get it up and running. Because Texas will be kind of a semi-test. And then England's going to be the real test for that 2 months that I'm away for the summer times. So whether I'm in England, California, Alaska, wherever I'm going to be during the times I go away, I want to be able to give you the best show I can give you as long as I have the best internet I can get. I don't make money from this. This is not what I'm doing full time. And to be honest, I want to be able to continue teaching writing and teaching ancient literature. And that's another leg of my personality of who makes me who I am here with the paranormal stuff. So I'm going to keep doing that because I love doing that. If it ultimately makes something for me, I'm not going to quit my teaching job. I'd die of depression if I did that. And that's not a joke. It would kill me. 2020 was hard, not being in the physical classroom. But this is what it's all about when you're amazed at the things that you catch, and you catch it years later when you're analyzing again. Imagine me analyzing, having the time I needed to analyze just days later. I was doing a lot of writing and I was teaching at the same time, and writing my book, my novel for this particular MFA, and doing all the technical work too, because you have to do a crap load of technical work. This is amazing. And I could hear that so clearly under the table.
Quite often what will happen is voices will come over.
And the thing is that I wasn't using a radio app. I was just using a really fast spinning radio receiver, and I'm in an area that just does not receive signals from radio stations. So that whole voice, I'm under the table, that was not coming from some radio station nearby. We were in an area here in Vermont that just does not have a lot of signals. It's hard to that room, that house. We couldn't get any phone signals. The only way we got internet is because internet was installed out there, but I think internet was installed out there. Even that, no, it wasn't, because it was hard to get, and we had to try and see if we could pull it from the main building, and boy, that was difficult to do. One of the main buildings, and that was terribly difficult to even get internet because it wasn't installed in that building there. So no, we hardly had any kind of signals of any sort, but this wasn't the only stuff at Goddard. I had some crazy Class A EVPs come through of things where people were right in the room talking. Like this, that was practically a Class A. That you could hear it under the table. That's a Class A.
And only be caught by recording devices. So I'll have to check on this later on to see what comes over. And then I'll be able to inform everyone in the video. The last inform everyone in the video. Quite often what will happen is voices will come over and only be caught by recording devices. So I'll have to check on this later on to see what comes over. And then I'll be able to inform everyone in the video.
I did that. I pulled it back like that because I realized that the volume blew out. You guys were just being overwhelmed by the volume, so I turned it down on my desktop in the hopes that I don't keep blowing you out, and I do apologize.
The last time I was here in this room, someone did say my name. Would anyone like to speak?
And there someone speaks again. Right at the end of the segment I'm showing you, someone speaks again. I'm going to stop. We're at 5 minutes. I will go through and play that whole thing again from the start. I'll talk a little bit about Goddard College, and I'll play that whole thing again from the start. Now that I know pretty much what I'm going to do, we're going to talk about Goddard College, and a beautiful campus, a wonderful place. If you ever get a chance to go to do a graduate degree, they're a good school, Goddard College up here in Vermont. So we're going to do a whole thing on that. And this place was haunted as all get out when I first discovered it for the music, when it was celebrating their music, and this was a celebration of that, like the 35th or 45th anniversary, or maybe it was the 50th. I can't remember. A very different place in the 1970s. It's got a hell of a history if you check it out. But you see what we're going to be working with, and now you know what we're going to be doing. I do hope that you all are going to be able to enjoy it when it comes out. According to a number of stories, this is the area of great